All right, call this meeting to order at 10:35. Kevin, can I get a roll call, please?
Yep. President Mark Shepard.
Present.
Vice President Kevin Hill. I am present. Director of Finance Jason Cole.
Present.
All righty. And then clubs present. I see that we have Sociology Club.
Yes.
Engineering Club. No Engineering Club. Shep.
Present.
Shep's present. Any other clubs that were missed?
Model UN.
Model UN. Thank you for that. So we have 3 of 3 executive officers present.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to adoption of the agenda. The agenda was posted on Instagram. If there's no objections, we'll go ahead and adopt the agenda. Hearing none, seeing none, the agenda has been adopted. Move on to approval of the minutes for November 9th. November 16th will be postponed till next week. If there's no objections, we'll go ahead and approve the minutes. Hearing none, seeing none. Move on to chair's message. Welcome, everybody. Getting ready to do these finals. I hope everybody is well and eat a lot of turkey, and Thanksgiving is what, 2 days away. Yeah, I have a short chair's message, so I just hope everybody's doing well, and we'll move on to advisor's message.
All right, y'all. Aloha. Happy Tuesday. Wishing you and your families a happy Thanksgiving. It's always a difficult time on the holidays for many people, so make sure you send people your love. Just a few things. Like Mark said, best of luck with finals coming up. Pretty much when you get back from the break this week, that's kind of where school tends to focus, right? With finals, I believe, start the 10th. So our last meeting will be the 7th, Tuesday the 7th. For those of you that are new, we don't hold meetings during finals, right? Because that's your priority. So December 7th will be the last K meeting for fall, and then Mark and I and Kevin will work on a calendar for spring. So just a couple other things real quick. Registration, hopefully now you all have your dates of when you can register, and you're starting to plan for what classes you want to take for spring. I think I mentioned this last week, 30% is the goal, 30% on ground for spring. So you'll see more selections of on ground classes. Speaking of which, I got an update this morning. To enroll on ground classes, you have to either have your waiver or your second vaccination shot uploaded. So even if on your end it says cleared, but you've only submitted one shot, they will not let you enroll in on-ground classes. So for those of you that are vaccinated or are in the process of being vaccinated, make sure you upload your second shot in order to be eligible to sign up for on-ground classes. Online, still the same as it's been for the last 20 months. But just a heads up, I just got that at like 9:30 this morning. So other than that, that's all I have. Like I said, I wish you and your families a happy holidays. And I know we're going to talk about some other stuff on the agenda, so I'll leave it there. So thank you, and I'll be quiet now.
Thank you very much. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is public comment. This time is reserved for members of the public to address the clubs and events board on issues not already appearing on the agenda. A limit of 2 minutes per speaker shall be observed, with a maximum of 4 minutes per topic. And no discussion is allotted on public comment. The law does not permit any action to be taken, nor extended discussion of any items not on the agenda. The ASB Clubs and Events Board may briefly respond to statements made for questions posed. However, for further information, please contact ASB C.A.E.B President for the item of discussion to be placed on a future agenda. At this time, do we have any public comment? All right, hearing none, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to appointments and swearing in. We do not have any appointments, but we do have a swearing in with our newly appointed Director of Finance, Jason. Brett, do you have a chance to grab? Yep, there it is. All right, Jason, if you can repeat after me. This is in for your official swearing in as the Director of Finance.
Okay.
Say, I state your name.
I, Jason Cole,
Do hereby solemnly
do hereby solemnly
swear to uphold the Los Rios Community College
swear to uphold the Los Rios Community College
district policies and regulations,
district policies and regulations,
the American River College
the American River College
Associated Student Body,
Associated Student Body,
Constitution and Student Senate bylaws,
Constitution and Student Senate bylaws,
and to perform all of my stated duties herein.
and to perform all my stated duties herein.
All right, congratulations. You are now officially appointed as the Director of Finance.
All right, thank you very much.
Awesome. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is unfinished business. There is no unfinished business. We will move on to new business. Item 10.1, spring semester planning. This time shall be reserved to discuss and potentially take action on a spring semester planning. Do I hear a motion?
I move to discuss spring semester planning.
I second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Lori, would you like to talk about possibly spring semester planning, or would you like to post it on to somebody else?
Well, the only thing I know of, I think we're trying to do warm your winter or welcome or something in the spring. I thought there was going to be, maybe there's bills. I can't see the agenda, so.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and briefly talk about it. I know this has been on the agenda a couple times, but with the break coming up, I wanted to we have new members on the board, and some other clubs that joined. I wanted to kind of put it back out there again and kind of just talk about some plannings that we're going to do for the spring. I think we're going to be going on ground a little bit, so hopefully we'll be able to host something on ground, maybe in front of the STEM building. Like I said, this has been previously talked about, so I just didn't know if anybody had any new ideas or suggestions on what we for the spring. In regards to warming your winters or warming your winter, I'll talk about that in a little bit, but just kind of open board, make sure you ask to be recognized to speak, and I'll give it over to the board. Does anybody wish to mention their ideas for the spring?
Well, Chair, we had discussed some things, like getting, the ARC bands and the football team and that kind of stuff. I don't know where that is in its planning.
Okay. I haven't been able to reach out to the athletics department. There's been some shifting in roles and some new people for the athletics department. So I will ask Brett if we can get together and possibly see if there's some way to incorporate the athletics department or any other departments for the spring. And I guess wait for a response from that. Anybody else? Yeah, go ahead, Brett. See your
I
hand.
was just going to add to that. The folks here might not know, but athletics has a new dean. It was just announced. I don't think they start until December sometime. So that will be a collab that I'll probably lead in with Mark and whoever else's help, but probably need to let them get a little situated first. But yeah, that was some context of Mark talking about changes in athletics.
Okay, so we should go ahead and just postpone I mean, maybe possibly reach out and then follow back up in around December-ish is what you're suggesting? Okay. All right. Anybody else have any other ideas or suggestions on how we can increase our student involvement with the clubs and events board for spring?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe for spring having some sort of event. I'm not sure if we're able to incorporate food in there, but everyone loves free food. So having maybe like, I don't know, kick off to like spring semester, depending on what month we want to host that. It would be either like warm drinks or something more of like a barbecue if that's more towards later in the spring semester, but something where I guess, students can come and gather and, have a good time. But I know food is always a good incentive.
Food will always bring me to an event. So Brett, do we have any follow-ups on vendors, food trucks?
No, not yet. That's been that's not to share too much information, but that's been a problem in getting the student center reopened. So there's been some options thrown out, but there has been nothing that I know of that's been concrete. So I would say, with C.A.E.B, Senate, JBC, if you wanted to do something food related, you could go outside and get stuff, made like pre-made Chipotle burritos or, whatever. Like that's going to be allowed because there's no error mark to say you can't do that. So.
Okay, so
I think we know someone from Chipotle too. That might help.
Okay, so you're stating that we could possibly allocate some funds to have some food and just basically a giveaway. So obviously it couldn't be an open bar type thing. It'd have to be a closed wrapped, pre-made, correct? For CDC guidelines stuff. Yeah. Okay. So Chipotle possibly question mark boom. And would we have to get a vendor packet for that vendor, or can we just basically allocate funds, purchase it, go get it, bring it?
That's a great question. I know our Black Student Success had an event in August and they had Chipotle. So I don't know if they went the vendor route or if someone just paid for it and got reimbursed. I don't know. I'll find that out.
Okay. Because another thing
I'll look that up right now while we're talking.
Okay. Another thing I wanted to kind of to possibly get your feedback on, Brett, is I know several food truck vendors, Doco and stuff like that. And I'm wondering if obviously they would probably need a vendor packet because there is an actual truck coming on grounds. I didn't know if maybe if we could secure like a section of the parking lot and basically work some type of agreement with the vendors and the trucks, like they give out so many meals or so many whatever. So I didn't know if that's a possibility, like a package deal type thing, like allocate $2,000 and they give this amount or whatever, first come first serve.
It could be. However, the wrinkle is going to be they're going to have to go through the whole vaccination status or waiver status.
The vendor would?
Any contractor on
Okay.
has to go through that process. So even like when plumbing goes out, right, and Los Rios calls a plumber, they have to show that they're vaccinated.
So would we have to verify vaccination for a student to walk up to get that? Would that be a logistical thing that we would have to worry about, or would it be a free-for-all?
Probably, because technically students aren't supposed to be on campus that aren't cleared. So I would imagine, I'd have to do some work on that, but I imagine the campus, the district would want some sort of check-in system where,
Okay, because the reason why I'm asking is because I know, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're not vaccinated, that you're allowed to be on campus for a short time period, like even if it was basically a come grab and go, like,
yeah, this is a
That-
new one for me. You're right. You can be on campus. They say like 15 minutes or something.
Here. I'm sorry.
go ahead,
Hello?
let me
Oh,
finish, Brett.
oh,
Go ahead, Brett. Hold on one second, Lori.
I'm sorry. Are you done?
Yeah, I think the technical rule is like 15 minutes, but I imagine if you're doing like an event like that, I'm gonna get asked to have a check-in system where I would, students come up and say, "Oh, I want a burrito," or whatever happens. We'd have to check them in and make sure they're cleared. And unfortunately, we're probably gonna have to tell people that aren't cleared, I'm sorry. That's just my gut feeling what's
Okay.
gonna have to happen.
Okay, so I think the way that after we do the check-in, so we don't have any issues, like we would create some type of ticket, and the student would give the vendor that ticket, and that also clarifies that we've checked them in, and they're, that whole accountability is taken care of. Go ahead, Lori.
Just trying to think outside the box. Would it work at all if the food truck was parked on the street off campus?
I think that would be a safety issue. I don't think they would allow that just because of traffic and stuff. So, but I understand what you're saying because it's not technically on campus, but I don't think operations would look. They would probably frown upon that one just because of, God forbid, if a student goes between a truck and, unfortunately gets hit by a
I'm
car.
thinking of the students line being on the sidewalk.
Yeah, we'll have to. That's a good suggestion. I'm not going to discredit that at all. That'll kind of help eliminate, any students that aren't vaccinated but would like a meal or, to participate in it. So I'll keep that into consideration, though. Thank you. Anything else? Anybody else have any suggestions, ideas, comments?
I have a suggestion. In
Go
order to
ahead.
partially mitigate the fact that we have to check for vaccination, we could make a Google form so that people can like RSVP and submit like a picture of their vaccination card or like the QR code for the vaccination. That way, when they actually come there, we know whether or not they're cleared.
That's a good suggestion. I think they do have a system already in place where they type in the student's ID number and it brings it up and lets whoever's checking them in know that they're cleared. Brett just said he does have access to see is cleared by district. Yeah, so but that is a good suggestion as far as the Google form. I think the only problem would be is getting that form out to students and students actually filling it out. Is my concern. I would think that would probably be the only, I guess you would say, hiccup on it. But that is a good suggestion and solution possibly. So possibly take that into consideration. Anybody else have any suggestions, comments, ideas?
If nobody else does, I have one more.
Go ahead.
One thing we've done, I'm not quite sure when it is, maybe it was Mardi Gras, I'm not quite sure when that is, where they had a parade and the funeral services, had their coffin and they played, some song about New Orleans or something. But I imagine that if funeral services is open, their classes, that the students in that are already vaccinated because if they have in-person classes. So anyway, just an idea.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much for that. Anybody else? No. Okay, something else I wanted to discuss on this spring semester planning is, besides the food vendor suggestions, what else, what other ideas do we have besides warming your winter and the food vendor?
Chair,
Recognized.
are we still considering the ARC music program as far as bands or?
If I'm not mistaken, that they have a December choir concert coming up on December 7th,
Hmm.
which I'll be speaking on. Which I'll be speaking at. I think it is possibly hosted by Beaver Cares program. I just received an email and was asked to kind of share the experience with the Beaver Cares program. So more details to come on that. Like I said, I just got a brief description or brief info on it. Excuse me. So all I know is it's called the December choir concert, and it's at ARC. So as soon as I have more information, hopefully I can pass it on to everybody. Anybody else? Nope. All right.
If we
Go
can't
ahead.
do anything live, can we do that? I forget what it's called, but where we had all the on Zoom, you know, it wasn't Zoom, but it was
Oh,
that we
Booth
did.
Central.
Yeah, can we do that again? Because that would, then we don't have to deal with the COVID.
If I'm not mistaken, I think our membership has expired. I will have to check into that, as well as I'm pretty sure it has. That means we would have to probably reallocate some funds and restart it. I think they keep all of the information that was entered, so it's not like everybody has to set up a new account or anything like that. I'm just speaking on us, excuse me, us, the clubs and events board, activating it and hosting it. That would probably have to be funds would probably have to be reallocated for that. I'll find out. I'll do some research and dig in and see what I can find. But that is I'm gonna write that down actually. That is a good suggestion. That did go pretty well for the individuals who don't know what the Booth Central was. Basically, it's a glorified Zoom event. Each like department or club or anything like that had a room, and you could um, go room to room to room to basically interact with whatever that department was or whatever that club was. If you guys get a chance, look up Booth Central. It was mainly targeted for like trade shows. However, when I presented it to Booth Central, they kind of love the idea of incorporating it into college settings and a virtual type event. So I'll reach out to my contact person and see what we can do though. But thanks for mentioning that. All right. Anybody else have any ideas, suggestions, comments, questions? No. All right. Before I close on and move on to the next one, thank you guys for your feedback. I appreciate it, and hopefully we can get some stuff going for spring. We'll go ahead and move on to item 10.2, recruitment for C.A.E.B. This time shall be reserved to discuss and potentially take action on recruitment planning for clubs and events board. Do I hear a motion?
Okay. I moved to discuss C.A.E.B. What promotion for recruitment?
Do I hear a second?
I second.
Awesome. It's been moved and seconded. Lori, would you like me to lead this one?
Sure.
All right. We now have officially appointed a director of finance. There still is some executive positions available. So I wanted to kind of get everybody's feedback on how would you recruit executive members or fellow students and stuff. Besides, just the social media requests and stuff. Does anybody have any suggestions or think it would be a good idea to possibly, once we go back on grounds, to kind of let students know what the associate student body is? Anybody have any suggestions on how we could do that?
We could make some flyers and then put them on the post-it boards.
Okay. Another question is do we have a graphic designer in the room? Just curious. Or anybody that knows how to create flyers or like that?
I know how to, but I was about to say that maybe tabling sometimes outside, probably, just having that one-on-one conversation with students as they are walking to class and from classes, and kind of just saying, hey, do you know what A.S.B is? Kind of just give them a little bit of the rundown and let them know that there are executive positions available and what they gain out of that, leadership skills, be able to use their voice, things like of that sort, kind of to appeal them to want to at least consider.
I like that. So one of my suggestions on that is a great suggestion as far as tabling and stuff. And what I've noticed in the past is when you try to stop a student to have a conversation with them, 8 out of 10 times they're either a little busy, they're running to their next class and stuff. So what I found that's been very successful is walk with them. Walk if they're heading across the campus, take a walk with them, and if they're interested in discuss it while they're walking to their next class, and maybe possibly have either a flyer or a card or something to leave with them so they could follow up on their time, whether it be after their class is done or when they're at home, they go, oh yeah, let me look into that. So that was what I found to be very successful, is not trying to stop them to get them to stay at the table for 3 to 5 minutes, but just say, hey, do you mind if I walk with you? Which I found to be very successful in getting their attention and actually getting them to consider it. So that is a good, write that down. That is a good suggestion as far as tabling it. I also, excuse me, we also do have some new tents for the associated student body, which we have not used yet. So hopefully we can be able to utilize those in the spring. Anybody else have any other suggestions or anything for recruitment?
Chair?
Chair? Oh,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Fire one off, Sylvia.
Sorry.
Did you ask to be, or
Oh no,
This
that
week?
was it, man. That was, I think, someone else. I think that was
Uh,
Lori.
Lori? Go ahead, Lori.
Could we make like a 2-minute video or something and send it out to all the faculty so they could play it in their classes? Because we can't, if most of the classes are online, we can't go to the classes. And maybe also go to faculty senate and in person maybe, and present
Alright.
something, because if I'm not right, we haven't had any events this semester, correct?
Correct. Brett, is that a possibility?
Sorry, my daughter is acting insane. Video, is that what you're asking about?
Yeah, I thought
Correct.
we
Maybe
could.
like a 2-minute presentation and or a video, What I would think is maybe an actual live video, or not live, but like a recorded video with the actual executive members, if we're comfortable, to kind of like while on campus to, create some type of presentation. I think if that's what Lori you were speaking of, yes.
Yeah, I was thinking of, it could not be very long because I mean, professors don't like to give up their class time, but if it were like 2 minutes and we could send it out to all the professors and ask them to play it in their classes.
Yeah, it's possible. I think the two things that come to mind for me is that the district used to employ like a video company, especially for like the president to like make videos and stuff. I don't know if the district still has that contract or not. If not, or if we're not allowed to use them, it'd have to be student made. And I don't.
Maybe we could get the president in on it.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I can bring that up. I will meet, not personally one-on-one with President Dixon, but I'm in a cohort that they chair that meeting. It's on Thursdays, and obviously this Thursday that won't be happening. So whatever day that is, the 2nd, I can bring it up, and then that way I could find out too of what the district contract is with that video company. I know President Dixon will be down. They like that stuff.
Yeah.
Could also help twofold with the elections for spring. So not a bad idea. Just got to figure out like everything, the logistics of it.
That actually brings me to, that is a good suggestion as far as the presentation and video. And I wonder if we could somehow incorporate elections into that, to kind of pre-start, letting students know that elections will be coming up soon, or maybe at least speak on that briefly in the 2 to 3 minute presentation. Anything past 3 minutes, they start to lose interest into the whole entire presentation. So that is a good suggestion. Yeah. So I look forward to finding out the results on that, and possibly seeing if President Dixon wouldn't mind speaking for 30 seconds on the presentation, or have a section with the higher ups at ARC. So yeah, very good suggestion, Lori. Anybody else?
If we were on campus, we could use the TV system in the student center and make like a short video for using that.
Yeah, that is a good suggestion. Brett, do you know what's going on with the final plans of the student center, where our offices are?
Yeah. Well, they're not final by any means. There's a couple issues. One, there are 39 entry points into the student center, and we don't know if we need to check people in, because if we did, that would be impossible, because I could let Mark in and then Mark could go let Lori in through some other side door where we're not at, right? And so we're trying to figure that out. The hub, it's now called the Unite Center, and the hub, CLD, as of today, November 23rd, we do not have the staffing to open either center, check people in, and do the actual services that we provide. So we are trying to figure that out with our student services team, because also the ID cards are in the student center, and that's my big push is to try to get those reopened. Don't have a date for the student center reopening is what I'm trying to tell you, because of those barriers. It's why I'm on 4 hiring committees right now. So honestly, if you want my gut feeling, it's not going to be reopened when we come back on January 18th or whatever day that is. But that's the barrier. So I don't think that first week of school, students can come in the student center and do homework like they used to. Like Starbucks will definitely not be there. Whatever the cafeteria is going to look completely different. And honestly, I just don't see it happening in the next 6 weeks or whatever it is. So that's a long answer to your question, but that's kind of the things that we're facing right now. I actually have a meeting about that at noon today. So I might know a little more.
How many entry points are into the
It's
thing?
like 36 or 39.
Wow. I didn't realize there was that many entry points.
If you count all the doors along the side of the student center, along the side of the cafeteria, the back by the community rooms, the kitchen area, the loading dock, if you count them all, it's like 36 or 39 entry points.
Wow. That's interesting. Now that I'm picturing it in my head, I'm like, that's a lot of entry points for a building. All right. Any other suggestions?
Chair,
Recognized?
as far as the video or anything else, is Design Hub available or are they swamped?
I'm just gonna bluntly say, I'm pretty sure they're not twiddling their thumbs. I'm pretty sure they're swamped doing stuff, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't mind helping out. Maybe I can reach out and just kind of feel it out and see if they are possibly available and or if they're even interested.
And we might even have a photography class or something that deals in videos that we could get students or.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Yeah. All right. Noted. Anything else? Or excuse me, anybody else? All righty. Well, thank you guys very much for the suggestions for both of the items on the agenda. It's been noted, and hopefully we can execute some of these suggestions that were mentioned. So if there's nothing else, then we'll go ahead and move on to the next item of the agenda, which will be community or committee reports. This time is reserved for the committee chairs to provide the board with a brief report on the current standing of active committees. Do we have any committee reports?
That's not clubs, right?
No,
Okay.
I don't think we have any committee reports at this time. So we'll go ahead and move on to board member reports and or announcements. This time is reserved for board members to inform the board about relevant campus-wide events and to report any pertaining committee progress activities. A time of 3 minutes per report shall be observed. This just for future reference for everybody on the call. This would be the time that you would be called and to speak on what your club is doing and to inform the board about what's happening with your club and or anything other announcements that you would like to mention. So at this time, we'll go ahead and start off with board member reports. Do we have any board member reports?
Chair.
Recognize.
Yes. So ARC shipped last weekend. Not this past weekend, but 2 weekends ago, we were at the National. So we were able to, get some good resources that we're going to be able to share with our fellow colleagues in the upcoming months regarding professionalism and landing an internship, all that sort. I do want to speak also on ARC engineering since we're collaborating with them. We're still doing a lot of engineering projects. So if you just want to get your hands and, into engineering or just want to build something for fun, definitely reach out. Right now, the current projects are hydroponic system, a solar regatta, which is a competition by SMUD, and one more, which is a bottle rocket. So definitely there's a lot of projects to choose from. So please reach out to me if you feel like you're interested or know anyone that's interested. And just follow us on Instagram. You'll see a lot of our postings and the flyers there.
Awesome. I would definitely be interested in the rocket thing. I'd build a huge rocket and see if we can send something out of space. All right. Thank you for that. Anybody else?
Chair.
Recognized.
Hi. Well, Sociology Progressive Dems continues to have our speakers almost every week. And then in between that, we have planning meetings and talk about our research project for these Pacific Sociological Association conference in Sacramento on April 7th. And hopefully soon we will get our, I've been trying for this semester, but getting people to move with COVID and stuff is kind of challenging. So as far as I know, the research project is concerning how Native American history is taught in some textbooks. They may be doing Hawaii or California. They may do some interviews.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Anybody else have a board member report or announcement? Once again, I just wanted to reiterate this and let everybody know this would be the time, if your club is hosting an event or anything exciting that you would like to share with the board, this would be the time to do so. Alrighty, hearing none, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which would be the second part of public comment. This time is reserved for members of the public to address the clubs and events board on issues not already appearing on the agenda. A limit of 2 minutes per speaker shall be observed with a maximum of 4 minutes per topic. No discussion is allotted on public comment. The law does not permit any action to be taken, nor extended discussion of any items not on the agenda. The ASB Clubs and Events Board may briefly respond to statements made for questions posed. However, for further information, please contact ASB President for the item of discussion to be placed on a future agenda. Do we have any public comment at this time? All right, hearing none, seeing none, we will go ahead and move on to adjournment. If there's no objections, we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 11:17.
Chair?
Are you objecting to the adjournment?
Well, I forgot an announcement.
Okay, so let me go ahead and if you don't mind, go ahead and adjourn the meeting, and then we'll go ahead and I'll let you make the announcement.
Whatever.
Okay. If there is no objections for the adjournment, we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 11:17. Hearing none, seeing none, this meeting has been adjourned